Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to Apply. All right, so today I have Yariv Cohen on the line, and he's CEO over at Ignite Power. And this episode is part of our Milken Global Conference coverage series, where we bring to you the best of attendees, participants, speakers, and panelists and VIPs, all from the Milken Global Conference who attend. So, Yariv, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Lovely to be on.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about today, so I definitely want to get into the solar revolution in Africa. We'll talk about what you're doing over at Ignite Power, WB Mission 300, a whole lot more. Is solar energy at an inflection point? So we got a lot to cover. But before we get into all of that, I want to get into the Milken Conference a bit. Now, I know it's been, a month or two since the conference happened, but to me, it's one of my favorite times of the year. It's my Super Bowl of conferences. Was this your first year coming, or have you been in the past? What's your experience and history with the Milken Conference?
So I think it's the best conference around there. I've been going there for the past decade, I think even 11 or 12 years. We actually
you're a veteran then. You're old school for this case then, yes?
And it only gets better. It's more than that. First time we went there, we actually launched Ignite in the conference because we got the right introduction. Then we were part of the Financial Lab innovation afterwards. Then we made some lectures through the IFC program. So we've been the story of Ignite, the growth of Ignite has been intertwined with the conference, and that's why I attended often.
Wow, what a special story. Literally Ignite was partially made possible due to the conference. I love it. Every time I do this series, we've been covering it now as a company for, 3 or 4 years now. And I remember I went many years ago. I went just one time, and it seems like every single year it gets bigger and bigger. Every single year it grows. What keeps you coming back? What do you think? Obviously, as we talked in the warm-up call, you're in Monaco right now. You're at different conferences. You do a lot of different things. What keeps you coming back to this one?
Well, actually, I'm usually based in Abu Dhabi, and the Milken Conference is one of the only ones we actually go to all across. There's the UN General Assembly week that I go to, and the other one is the Milken Conference, because everybody comes there to do. You meet people, they want to do things together, they want to work on it. It's less of a conversation, but more let's get things done. And this vibe works well for me. It accelerates. I always meet interesting people. Partnerships come out of that. New business, new ideas, new directions. So that's why traveling 16 hours over the North Pole from Abu Dhabi and back every year.
Amazing. Let's switch it up a bit here, Yariv. I want to get into Ignite Power. First off, maybe to start with a little bit more about your company and what you do.
So what we do is we connect communities and villages in Africa to power. We give them a solar panel, a battery, and lights, and create from a dark hut to a modern energy home. We're doing it in scale. We are in 13 countries across Africa. We've connected 18 million people. Our main partner is the World Bank, and we'll talk about their Mission 300. My personal goal is to connect 100 million people to power by 2030. There's about 600, so if we can deal with the first 100, that's example for the rest to come. And the benefits of having light, don't have to mention it, but we also provide them with phone charging so they can charge their phone, have connectivity, and we provide them with internet access together with Starlink.
How did you come up with this idea originally? How did you know that Africa was the place to be for this? And where'd you get this idea? It's so interesting to me.
So I used to run a renewable platform company listed in the London Stock Exchange. We had business in Africa, in Russia, in America, in Boise, Idaho, out of all places. We did small projects, big projects. And we had a small business in Africa. And I went there and I saw how they live. And then I saw that the curve of solar, so basically the cost of solar panels, go down 10% every year for the last 40 years. The cost of lithium is going down. The cost of LED is going down. And what I saw back then is that it's more affordable to provide a solar panel and create micropayments. So they pay us $5 a month back then than what they're currently using. So I said, okay, that's where it goes, and extrapolating where it will go. So we created that. We created a digital platform that can accept those payments. We have a pay-go component that stops the system from working if there's no payment, so allows them to remind it to be working there. And when we started, we were the most affordable at the time at $6 per month. Now, with the different partnership we have, we can sell modern energy to homes for $1 per month, which is universally affordable. So we can really make a difference.
Wow, what an amazing story. How many lives have you affected, would you say, like roughly?
So we installed 18 million people so far. They have a solar system in their homes. But that's just the beginning. My goal is to do another 80 within the next 5 years. It took me a decade to reach 18 with everything around, and now I want to get to 100. So we want to accelerate. We want to build a partnership, and one of the reasons we come to the conference is I want to push that forward.
Would you argue that we're kind of at an inflection point for solar energy access, or would you say otherwise?
Absolutely. So if you look at the first wave of solar in Africa, that was big projects, grid connected. They take decades to produce, to make them work. Now what we have is we have small modular solar that didn't exist before. We have price affordability that's universally affordable. We have the digital abilities, both on payment and on workforce management. And we have the willingness of the governments and multilaterals like the World Bank to make that happen. So if you look at the Mission 300, which I will get to in a minute, that's the World Bank program to connect 300 million people to power, that mobilized $90 billion. That's more money than Africa has ever had for this. So if you look around, we're talking that within the next 5 years, Africa would look completely different. If I give example of Rwanda, where we started operating a decade ago, we are now in every village in the country, 12,000 villages. So if you fly above Rwanda now, you will see our lights in every single village that were out before. And that's what I see for the future of the continent.
Wow, what an amazing story, Yoav. So go further into Mission 300, by the way, the World Bank Mission 300. I want to learn more about that.
So the World Bank Mission 300 is a joint effort by the World Bank, by the African Development Bank, by the Rockefeller Foundation, and dozens of other organizations with a single purpose, connecting 300 million people by 2030 to new power. So those are new connections. Those are people that never had power before that will now kind of join the modern economy. It has different components to it. Some of them deal with the digital access, so providing internet access. And that mobilization has now created a pool of $90 billion that will flow into that. And we're doing our part by making the actual connections on the ground, working closely with it. And I must say, the World Bank and the IFC and African Development Bank are working in a sense of urgency and speed that we have not seen before. So if you look at all of that critical mass, this is why I believe that Africa would look totally different from solar and from energy access within the next 5 years.
What are some of as you scale this up, what are some of the challenges you deal with? I'm curious about some of the hurdles you have to overcome. Of course, capital, one of them, and looks like a lot of capital is flowing into this, but just talk to me in general. What does it even look like? I'm trying to wrap my head around what it looks like to bring that much power to people. It's an amazing feat.
So the first part was to get people to want it. It was not clear that they would need solar power and why. That's done. Governments are on board. The World Bank is on board. Capital is there for the first time. And now it's delivery. It's getting the product shipped first of all on a boat. Then they need to reach the country. Then we need to send them with a truck to the central warehouse. Then we need to send it to the districts that usually are pickup vans. Then motorcycles take them to the village, and then motorcycles take them to the village, and bicycles take them to the home. So first of all, it's a logistical business. We have close to 100,000 agents working all across the continent.
Wow,
and that's what
a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs there.
Yeah, a lot of jobs, and those locations are far. If you want to go there, you have to use all those means again, and at the end you will have to walk. So we reach the most further locations. From the capitals are well lit. If you're in the capital, you have a light. If you're going to the village, in the most remote village, those are the places where we operate. So it's first of all logistical, and then everything else, making a business work in those countries. But the key is logistics, and that's what we perfected with the use of very good team, problem solvers, and good technology.
Wow, what an amazing story. One that I'm excited and happy to continue to follow, too, especially over the next 5 years to see us this. And I feel like as more and more households come online with power, this adds working hours, this adds productivity, this adds industry, this adds I don't even know. I'm trying to wrap my head around what are some of the implications of as these homes and as these areas have power, the amount of economy and the things that they can accomplish, right? This is it's unlocking potential.
And you're touching all of those points. The first and most important is child education. If you don't have power at home, you cannot do homework. That's the one first.
So that's even like going back to the original days of like settlers, right? Like when you went from a candle to a light bulb, now you added working productive hours. Like that's going way back then, right?
That's one. Going exactly, they don't have a floor. The house is dark. It's darkest, that's it. The second one is women's safety. Third is not cooking at home. You can cook outside. Fourth is most of our clients are farmers. They can stay in the field for another 2 hours. They don't have to run back home for dinner. They can wake up a little bit earlier, have lunch and do it. They can sort out the vegetable. So we're having major impact on their economic activity. Now they save a bit more. They can buy a milling machine. Suddenly they can group up together. We sell them solar pumps. We have solar pumps that are in a trolley. And a few families together, they club themselves, 3, 4, 5 families, and now suddenly their yield is doubled. And the list goes on. And every time we go, we learn on more benefits that happen. English scores of kids just by power because they play with the phone. And if you don't charge your phone, then it becomes a scarce resource. You're not using it. If it's charged, you can use it. And even the little games suddenly improve it. So you can see that impact of light and more than light when it comes to bigger machines on every aspect of their lives immediately.
Amazing. Wow. Well, Yoav, it's been great having you on the show today and learning more about all the work that you're doing about the solar revolution, which is truly a revolution in Africa. And I'm really excited to follow that. That being said, if somebody's listening or watching this and they want to learn more about Ignite Power, how do they do that?
So first of all, our website, www.ignite.solar, www.ignite.solar, that's number one. Anybody that wants to connect, I'm always available on LinkedIn, Yariv Cohen, you can find me there. And we do have a lot of media because of what we're interested in. So I write for the New Times in Rwanda and different LinkedIn posts. So follow us, we create a lot of interesting content.
Wonderful. For everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so that you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way on your journey as well. So again, hit that subscribe or follow button. And Yoav, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.